What's up, everybody? Welcome to Go My Lion, a mini show about courage. And this is episode 4 of the second season, where I've pretty much just been covering topics and giving like a mini snippet of how I am thinking of courage related to these topics. The first season is a little bit different. It's more vlog style, and so if you're interested in that, you can check out my page, Official Josiah, on YouTube. Or if you're already there, you can go to the video listings, and there should be a playlist for the first season, and just kind of see how that went. But for today's topic, I was thinking of having the courage to apologize because I recently had to do this. And for me, it does take some courage, particularly when I know I have to initiate a conversation. I have to be the one to reach out. I need to start, the whole process, if you will, of going ahead and explaining and sharing where I was coming from, but apologizing nonetheless and making sure that that's at the forefront and not trying to make excuses for myself. Like that whole thing takes some courage for me, and you might be able to relate to that in terms of having to be in a position where you apologize for something and needing to have some courage to take that first step so you can actually begin to have that conversation with whoever that person or people are. So, this past weekend, 4th of July, and 4th of July was on a Monday, I believe, and so there's that. But I was in the car with family, leaving a gathering from other family, and it's nighttime, and I was in the car with my mother. We stopped at a gas station, and it's nighttime, and I tend to be pretty protective of my family, especially the women in my life. And so when I'm thinking about situations that are avoidable, stopping at the gas station at night is one of those. And even in my own life, because of my identity and how I show up in the world, how I might be perceived, just at first glance in the society I'm within, there are particular vulnerabilities that can come along with that, where I'm thinking about my safety and the fact that that might be in question if I make certain decisions like going to the gas station or darker areas, at nighttime that could cause me to be in a vulnerable situation, basically. And so I'm thinking of that in this moment, and I could sort of, from my perspective, overreacted and question the decision. Like, are you serious? Like, we can avoid this. It's not even for something important. Like, it's not a need that we're here because we didn't even get gas. It was like for something else. And she basically hit me with a, I'm good and I can make this decision, for myself. And she totally understands safety and all of that. And at the end of the day, she's a grown woman, so she can do what she wants to do and does not need my permission. But I, in that moment, even recognized the intensity that I had and the way that it came off, and I did not like how it came off. And so that next day, I had already had it in my mind that, okay, I want to say something to apologize because I feel like I was a little intense, or I feel like I overreacted from the decision. All was well, nothing happened, which is great, but I still found that it was necessary for me and my own sense of peace and that relationship, the peace of that relationship, to take that step to apologize and address it just in case there is or was any impact that came from how I reacted to that decision. And if I were to go forward and not apologize, my concern would be that we're both harboring some sort of feelings about it, but we're just not talking about it and kind of just not even putting a band aid, but kind of just putting some cement over something and kind of just choosing to go forward without actually talking about it. And I did not want that. I don't want that even for other situations and relationships. So that next day, I did bring it up. I found some courage to go ahead and be determined that this is what I will address. And what helped me to kind of have courage to bring it up was to um, be determined to do it, like have made the decision within myself that this will happen, and to also see it as a good thing, not something negative, but see it as contributing to the health of myself and that relationship, and to be able to show care, to show that I care about how I'm coming across to somebody and my impact on somebody's life, my words, and how that might affect them as well. all of that matters. And so these are all good things, and I'm down with good things. So that helped give me a little bit more strength to go ahead and go forward and say the things that I felt like were necessary, even if nothing was done in terms of offense, even if they didn't feel a particular negative way about it. I still felt it necessary to at least address it. I did. There were no hard feelings, no issues, but it was good to address the matter. But something that was actually important to me, or something I found compelling, was a step that could have been taken prior. I was already feeling triggered. There was a lot that happened that day that was affecting me in a particularly negative way, where I found it hard to just be in a positive mindset. Even things happening around the world that were tragic, that were affecting me negatively, and just my outlook, all of that was coming together, and it led up to that moment that night and contributed to the intensity that I had in responding to a situation that, in and of itself, on a different day without those triggers, I would have responded differently. And I might not have even said anything verbally in the first place. But with all those triggers, that's what happened. And a steps that I could have taken would have been to share how I was feeling earlier in the day. I think being able to check in with somebody and let them know, hey, this is kind of how I'm feeling. I feel like I'm sort of dealing with something right now, trying to work through it, but I want you to be aware, for the sake of our relational health, for the sake of even my peace, and just being able to have some assistance, even because that person or those people might be able to contribute in ways that would be helpful for you in getting you to a better emotional state, so that you can prevent situations where you end up having to apologize for decisions that you made that were regrettable, later on. So checking in is something that I want to do going forward. And that even takes courage, because most of the time we don't want to let people know that we're struggling with anything. And to do that without what you might feel is like just cause, like nothing has happened, it's kind of this intangible, invisible, I just feel bad sort of thing. That's more of a self judgment, at least speaking for myself, that I have placed on me when considering sharing how I'm feeling about something. But again, it's a good thing. I have to remind myself that, this is about health. This is about being in a good place. This is about having good decisions, that you can make going forward, and having a strengthened relationship. Because if people know that you trust them with the information of how you're doing and how you're feeling, then they're more likely to trust you as well, and you're more likely to be able to support one another going forward. And that's something that can strengthen a relationship. So having the courage to apologize is one thing. Having the courage to actually just share and check in with people in your life about how you're doing is also another. And doing that first can prevent situations where you need to apologize later. So I hope that that's helpful for you when thinking about courage, thinking about apologizing, thinking about your emotional health, and checking in with people, and even just checking in with yourself before all of that, so that you know how you're doing and how you can go forward. Is all important. Take it with you. Maybe try to apply it. Maybe try to share it with somebody. But that is the courage topic for this week. Go my line. Let's go courage. Do your thing. And I hope that you're well. Peace.